Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your favorite dirty biker from McKeesport, Phoenix Motorsports, aka Kevin6154. Things escalated a little bit. Okay, so this video started off just being, where are we at here? Just being air filters, checking them. Turned into something a little more. This bike's had a little bit of hesitation, which I figured was a vacuum leak. Alright, well, we'll replace some vacuum lines. Well, we got involved. Like, really involved. No worries. Found a vacuum leak. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. There it is. Right there. One vacuum leak, and over here, this vacuum line is ready to pull off of my fingers. It's swelled up. So, we're going to go ahead and change some vacuum lines. I don't know if we're going to show you everything in this video, but we'll probably do this in more than one part. I did not film myself removing the carburetors. Still trying to get monetized. There was a whole lot of swearing. It's a bugger to do this. So, when we reassemble, we'll go through some of that in part 2. But in this video here that you're about to see, we're going to show you how to access the air filter quickly. And the next step in that would be the sub filters. Not going to film that until the rest of my parts come in, because I found a couple other things wrong. And this is why it's important with an older bike to go through and check every little thing. Because I found a throttle cable that was ready to go. So we had to order a throttle cable. Your sub filters are right back in here. And it's just a wee little tiny, about that big. You can actually order them, or you can buy yourself a one of those foam paint brushes and literally make one out of that. It's pretty simple, but they do got to be checked now and again. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll get you up to date in just a second here. And I think I'm going to fast forward the footage of basically getting it to this point. So, check it out. Alright, so we went a little further than you had to just to check the air cleaner. But that crap all got to come off, and we still got more to take off. But at this point, we're going to check the air cleaner. So, first things first, when you're doing this, magnetic tray, you won't lose any screws. Trust me, I love these things. Next thing, if you've seen in Fast Forward, the actual cover with the radio, those old plastic clips tend to get very brittle. You could pretty much take the whole engine out of this bike without removing the wiring for the radio and all the controls there. So generally what I do, I just bend it back out of the way like that. That way you're not trying to mess with an old plastic clip that's going to break and make your life miserable. So we'll take our little tool tray here, and or bolt tray, excuse me, stick him right about there somewhere. You got Phillips head screws all the way around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Grab your Phillips. Now on the front up here, this just pops loose, comes off. This is if you're familiar with an old carbureted car, this is like a blend door. Okay, hot air from a chamber and exhaust comes up here, and when it's cold outside, this little valve will open, and it allows it to draw warm air into the intake until it gets up to temperature. It just basically makes your machine run a little smoother in the very, very cold weather. It makes it warm up quicker. How's that? And in typical Honda fashion, there is an electric sensor in there. We'll show you that when the inside of the intake temperature goes up from the heat of the engine rising, a vacuum line shuts that little valve. Which is why there are so many freaking vacuum lines on this bike. Which is what we are here to do. We're going to replace all these old ass back lines and make damn sure that they are in good shape so that when we're going down the road, we don't have no sputtery 300 miles from home where my tools are not. You know what I'm saying? It's the idea of knowing how to work on your own bike and keeping it in working order so you can jump on it and ride it across country, no matter how old it is. Beater bikes are cool. This is a beater bike. This is also a touring bike. You know, there's times when I take it up into the mountains, and man, if I had to have her towed home, I'm going to be spending some money. So I want my bike to make it. Therefore, I don't trust anybody to work on it but me, and I make sure she's in good working order. If there's something that I haven't addressed, I address it. As I said, I bought this thing, I rode that devil out of it for 9 months, and I did absolutely nothing but check the oil a few times. Well, we might be taking some longer trips, and either way. What the hell is that? Oh, the neighbor got one of them little gas-powered RC cars. That's cool. Sorry, squirrel! ADD. Get the last screw out here. I gotta see what that is. Man, that thing is ripping. Those things are so cool. One of these days I might get back into RC cars. When I was a little kid, my dad had a couple of them, and I was kind of too young for the one I had, but I had a really cool one. We're talking $1987, and it was like $500 back then. We used to race them, my dad and I. A lot of fun. Hopefully you can see this here radiator cap. The air cleaner is going to stay apart for a while, so we're going to replace it. But to get this out, the air cleaner cover, it's much easier just to remove the radiator cap. These vacuum lines back here can be bent ever so slightly, and off comes the air cleaner cover. Set him out of the way. We'll go ahead and put the radiator cover back on. Radiator cap, excuse me. Put it back on just to do it. Alright, let's see. As you can see, we don't need an air cleaner. She's pristine. So we'll go ahead and set her out of the way. Now to get to these sub filters, you gotta take this box out, and it's a bugger. Can you see real well? Hopefully you can. So get on this side so I got more room to work. You got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 Phillips head screws. Be very careful, okay? These strip out easy. You don't want to deal with that. That camera stand is right where I would really like to be standing to do this, so I don't have to reach awkwardly over the bike. But hey man, I do this for you guys, so maybe I can pass some of my knowledge on to y'all, or yins as we would say up here in Pittsburgh. Yins with some pierogies in Cold Iron City, or in my case Cold Turner's iced tea. Alright, now, under here there is a vacuum line. You've got, right here, this is a drain hole line. And I believe there's another vacuum line on the side. Yes, there is. It's here. It doesn't need to come off. So this should just pull straight up and out. And hopefully that vacuum line will just unwedge itself, as I have had this apart once already to check it. No. You're going to be a devil, ain't you? So this back line's got to come off. Can I bend it ever so slightly out of the way? There we go. Gentle. Take the air exhaust vent out. One hose was still connected, that drain hose. Need a pair of needle nose, and you'll see why I want to get it out. This is where the long needle nose come in really handy. Let's look like this. Oh, nope, it came out on its own. Okay. Now, this is that sensor I was talking about. Alright. And it goes to a vacuum line right here, this pink line, which goes to this door. Okay, so it's going to allow your hot air to get up into your engine. All these vacuum lines are going to get replaced. Anyways, that's your air cleaner. Before we go any further, I think we're going to cut this here. As you see, every one of these vacuum lines in here, these ones look like they're still somewhat good. These go to your air injection sensors. When this bike recognizes that it's in a higher elevation, it'll open up a sensor and actually allow more air into the carburetor. Because as you know, higher elevation, less oxygen, so it technically will adjust your carburetor for you, basically. Alright, y'all, we're going to cut this video here. I'm going to tear into this bike a little further, but at this point you now know how to check your air cleaner. We'll get to the sub filters eventually, but I think we're going to keep it short and sweet. This is the end of part 1 of air filter check and vacuum line replacement.